November tarot reading. My name's Allie and I'm your friendly mystic. If you're new here, welcome. It's great to have you. It's a real pleasure and privilege to be able to read for you. And if you're coming back, welcome back. Thanks for being here. I'm glad that I could be of service, really. So just a couple of things to cover at the beginning of that I like to cover at the beginning of my readings. I will have a video up with some more detailed information on how to interpret readings, but I like to go through a checklist because I know not everybody is going to watch that, and a lot of people might be new to my videos considering my channel is fairly new itself. So first and foremost, this is a reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Rising being the most important, and you can also watch this Virgo tarot reading for other personal Virgo placements you have that you find particularly meaningful. In the video that I will have linked somewhere, there will be some different ways you could pick powerful personal placements, and you'll be able to find the one that resonates most with you. I'd like to say that all of my readings are timeless, so you will find the reading you're meant to find when you're meant to find it. So it's not that my reading is for the month of November, it's that my reading is in the month of November. It's really not about, it's not really for the timeline of November the month. It's just a housekeeping thing, just keeps me on a schedule and keeps content coming out regularly. My readings are also very general. So this reading might not be for you. Not one reading cannot apply to all Virgo placements all at once. If they tried to, they would be so watered down and so general they would mean nothing to anyone. So it's really just meant for those who need it, as you'll hear me set the intention when I start shuffling the cards. So if it wasn't your reading this month, then I hope that you find the reader that you're meant to find this month, or whenever you're meant to find it. I do title the readings, so if the title of this reading is resonating you, it's keying in on something you're feeling or experiencing, then very likely this reading is going to be for you. I have like this, I live next door to an Airbnb and there's people in the kitchen. It's just kind of funny. So yeah, I think that's all I really need to say to start with. I'm going to pick your tarot decks and we're going to get started. So just a sec, Virgo. All right, so I have your tarot decks picked out. I did fail to mention that I recently finished a major arcana art project. So I have created my own versions of all of the major arcana, which was a great study for me. So at the beginning of my readings, I'll be pulling one of these major arcana that will kind of encapsulate the ultimate life lesson or the energy surrounding the reading, the situation you're experiencing, and can also provide some insight on what it is that your soul is really here to learn in this particular situation. So we'll get started with that. This is really new, so I hope that the fire and water signs don't get jealous because I did not have this deck finished when I did the reading, so the earth signs get this first. The air signs will also get this, so. Alright. Source, spirit guides, guardian angels, benevolent ancestors. Please help me to connect with the collective of Virgo and communicate the messages in their higher good, or highest good, for those that need it. Source, spirit guides, guardian angels, benevolent ancestors. Please help me to connect with the collective of Virgo and communicate the messages in their highest good for those that need it. Thank you for letting me do this. Source, Spirit guides, guardian angels, benevolent ancestors, please help me to connect with the collective of Virgo and communicate the messages in their highest good for those that need it. Thank you for all the support and love you share with me in the collective every day. Okay. This one. Alright, so hopefully this won't be too reflective, but the first card, or I guess the major arcana surrounding this, is the Lovers in reverse. So upright, it looks like this. I don't know if you can tell, but I use a lot of fashion magazines when I collage this, but Lovers in reverse. Feels like there's something that wanting to blossom between two individuals, likely, but learning what that, it's learning what it means to be in a lover's kind of relationship where you're balancing your needs with another, and the actual intimacy required to do that. You may have a Virgo Venus placement, which has some difficulty, since Virgo is a detrimental place for Venus as a planet. So I'm going to leave that Lover's card there, and I'm going to continue the reading with the tarot deck. So actually that's funny, bottom of the deck is the Ten of Cups in reverse, but I'm using this vintage Morgan Greer deck that I have. You may have seen me use the small version of this deck, the Morgan Greer in a tin, but I happen to have a vintage copy, which I love to touch. So let's see. Oh, I can't really show you this, but the backs of these cards match my reading mat, so I kind of love that for me. I love that for us, you know. Queen of Pentacles. Out. This is one of the parties. Queen of Pentacles could very easily be you, Virgo. Very earthy, able to nurture abundance and sustain it in times of when there's less. I feel like Virgo's also very good at, is very much, I mean, Virgo season is the harvest time. That time where you kind of reap everything you've sown. And we see that there's acorns and the browning of leaves, so that really indicates that's likely you, Virgo. So let's see what else. Well, that's interesting. So we have another feminine energy, a Queen of Cups in the upright, sandwiched by the Magician and the Chariot, both in reverse. That's interesting. In the spread, the queens are both looking at each other. I'm wondering if there's two women that are in relation with one another, but there is something surrounding this. There's some situation surrounding this queen, or that the Queen of Pentacles is gazing upon. There's definitely a lot of Cancer energy around the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is very much a Cancer type, and then the Chariot is also Cancer energy. Let's see. The Queen seems to be having some issues manifesting something, likely due to indecision around, not necessarily indecision, but like two competing desires that are in conflict with one another. And I feel that this Queen wants to help, or it feels the need to assist in some way. Which is very you, Virgo. Someone needs my help, but will they take it? I don't know. I have a feeling that this Queen may be looking to, this Queen of Cups specifically, is looking to this Queen of Pentacles for help. Or an ally of some kind. This is both strong feminine energy too, so I'm getting kind of a friends. These can be two powerful friends. I mean, these could also be two lovers, and two strong feminine energies, but also I probably should start putting this in my videos as well, but when I say feminine energy, I'm not saying a person like a she, her. I'm not saying necessarily like someone who uses feminine pronouns, but somebody who has feminine energy. Energy doesn't have genitalia. Energy doesn't have gender. Doesn't have like a gender necessarily. Energy is feminine and masculine is more of a yin yang thing. It's more of a polarity than anything else. So when you hear me say feminine, maybe hear me say receptive, because it's these queens are not necessarily two women, though sometimes that does come across in my readings, is that I could see two women, but the gender isn't necessarily the whole story. So Virgo, you probably have noticed the lighting has changed significantly. The sun is set, so I'm reading around a little later than I usually like to, but I really wanted to get your reading in today. Sorry for the pause, just had a little personal thing come up. But where was I? Yeah, so I've got the Two of Cups with the Empress in reverse here. So there's a desire to have some sort of even exchange of emotion with another individual, and it feels like it's between this queen and these two queens, but there's something not feeling necessarily one party, or the relationship is not necessarily bringing the kind of abundance this person is hoping to have. I'm feeling like because of what the queen is going through, this partnership isn't necessarily working out as well as either party is hoping, because the Queen of Pentacles is trying to be very helpful, trying to assist the Queen of Cups, but the Queen of Cups is having this, I guess, internal ambivalence, and by ambivalence I mean being pulled in two directions at once, like having having contradictory emotions or desires. And it's really affecting their ability to manifest and their ability to create what it is they're setting out to create. And that is also affecting their abundance. This is a lot of major arcana as well. It might be a deeply karmic bond between these two. It could be a mother-daughter, an adult daughter and an adult mother, or, parent and adult child. I am getting a message about a mother who's dealing with addiction and an adult daughter who's trying to help, and not necessarily able to do so. Though I do feel like the Queen is seeking help now. The Queen of Cups, that is. Though that's, it's kind of like she's come to understand that she has a problem, but the problem needs to be actually dealt with. And it seems like some forward momentum might be able to be made on that soon. But I'm hoping so. But I'm seeing some resistance here. I think part of that This is a very dramatic lighting. This is extremely dramatic lighting. It's the spooky lighting for election day, which is when I'm recording this. Not to be political or American. But I have the Fool in reverse with the Six of Wands in reverse, or not Six of Wands, the Six of Swords. So there's definitely some resistance and baggage that is holding this Queen of Cups where they are. Something that needs to be resolved or dealt with before they can actually make forward movement and actually make the difficult journey through, what's the word? Sobriety, essentially, through sobriety in a major way. I do feel like I'm the cards have kind of shuffled a bit, and the Two of Cups with the Empress in reverse, and I just have 3, 4, 5 in the clock as well. It's kind of like almost indicative of mommy issues. If this is for this message is for the adult, child parent situation, where there's kind of this rescuing need, this need to rescue the Queen of Cups from themselves, even though there's all of this resistance around. And it's some powerful resistance. Nearly all of the cards surrounding the Queen of Cups are in reverse. Well, all of the cards surrounding the Queen of Cups are in reverse, but nearly all of the cards are also major arcana, which means these are powerful forces surrounding the Queen of Cups that don't change easily. So these are things that have likely been going on for a very long time. And I can see that this might be an unhealthy cycle for both queens involved. Interesting. So, any other messages? I love this deck because it just blends in with my reading mat. Yeah, I quite like that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I kind of get the sense that in the case of the addiction, or the case of the, in the two competing desires with the Queen of Cups, this is a lot about the Queen of Cups. There's a need to really hit rock bottom first before they can actually take the rest to recover from what it is. But I get the sense that they are weary and tired and finished. They're almost, it's like once they hit that rock bottom, once they finally surrender, there's definitely a sense of surrender in the Five of Pentacles. Once they actually, and then with the Four of Swords, definitely a sense of surrender. Once they actually do that, I feel like the Fool and the Six of Swords, which are currently in reverse in this spread, will become upright and actually start making some progress, and that can help get these two horses, a better self and the worse self, along. The better self and the saboteur, the better self and the addiction. And then, I feel like the Magician was kind of confusing me a little bit, but I'm feeling like the Magician is really about having a balanced, being balanced in all energies, so in all elements, so fire, earth, air, and water, as represented by the wand, sword, pentacle, and cup. The Magician has full mastery over all of these things, and therefore has a sense of balance between all of the elements so that they can utilize them for their needs. I'm feeling like when the queen is actually dealing with what it is that's keeping them locked in place, then they will find that balance within themselves. But I think I need to know more about the Queen of Pentacles, because I'm just seeing somebody who desperately wants to help the Queen of Cups, the Pentacles. I think that's both of them. Yep. Let's look. Oh, I think we feel a little bit like a slave, Queen of Pentacles. Feel a little bit like a slave to it. If I just work hard enough on this person, if I just keep with it, if I give it my all, if I really, if I get it perfect, I can fix them, I can fix it. That's addictive thinking. If you don't think you have an addiction because you're not doing, heroin or, any other form of hard drug, even soft drugs you can get addicted to, but just because maybe the mother seems the mother figure, I'm going to call the Queen of Cups the mother, because this is very coming through very strongly in this spread. But if you were trying to help a mother figure, Queen of Pentacles, and you feel like, well, I'm not the addict, I'm the one, I'm always the one that has to come in, jump in, and save this person, you can't. That is an addiction in and of itself, thinking that you can fix somebody else when that problem is the fact that they don't actually fix themselves and they don't actually work on themselves is the addiction. That is addictive thinking. That is a mental obsession with being a rescuer, essentially. And that might be difficult to hear for you if that interpretation of this reading applies. So, I mean, that's the message that's coming through most strongly for me. Yeah. Okay. I can pull some more cards. I'm getting some pretty rough readings, or, reading some rough situations. These are not easy to, situations to navigate, nor are they to read, but, my job's easy compared to this. So I feel like both people are in addictive cycles of kinds with each other. Sorry about that, Virgo. I turned the lights on in my room, so that might help with the lighting being a little less spooky, but it is definitely different. You're going to get 3 lightings in this video. I hope you feel special. But, yeah, this really ties into the Lovers in Reverse, so that's definitely an unhealthy, addictive relationship. It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic one, though this could definitely be a romantic one. But it's, not the most healthy thing I'm seeing. Interesting. So Queen of Rods in reverse has stepped into the picture. It feels like a dispassionate Queen of Rods to facilitate something. I'm not sure. I need some more clarification on this. What was I saying? The rescuer working. Oh yes, I wanted to make sure I mentioned this. If you keep rescuing somebody from themselves, they never get the consequences of their actions. And a lot of people, a lot of addicts, when you are for a lot of addicts, they have a rescuer that enables them to continue the addiction. And I just got 1, 2, 3, 4. So, on the timestamp there. So and if the addict isn't able to actually hit rock bottom, they, or whatever their rock bottom is, because that's different for every person, they don't actually get the opportunity to learn or be responsible for themselves. It's rough. I think it's rough to feel like you're, oh, I'm letting somebody down, but if I don't do this for them, then what will happen to them? And it's like, that's not yours to deal with at all. You are robbing them of something as much as it doesn't feel like it. And that's a very difficult, that's a really difficult thing to let go of. Let's learn more about this Queen of Rods. I'm getting an itch. The light's a little better. I need to get better, like, late night lighting or evening lighting. Oh, this Ten of Cups in reverse came up again. This was at the bottom of the deck at the starting of the reading. It's really hurt the relationship. Or it's hurt the family, especially if this is, again, mother-daughter, adult child with parent. It's really, really hurt that familial relationship. There could also be a third party that's negatively affected by this relationship or this dynamic. Another queen. We have all the queens out here except for the Queen of not Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, which I would expect to see for a, like, mediator, though even a Queen of Rods in reverse is going to be warmer, you know, and that might be indicative of some sort of counsel. It could also be that there needs to be a sense of independence taken by this Queen of Pentacles, because in the spread, I'll show you. It's going to visually be able to show this to you. But these two queens in this spread are staring at each other. But this Queen of Rods, though in reverse right now, I get a sense of a lack of independence and inability to stand up and be individual. She looks directly out. She meets your gaze, as opposed to being locked in a gaze with the other queen. So I think that as much as it's painful, there's a need for independence of self and to kind of remove themselves from the situation, which is rough. And honestly, it feels like you need to do it for your own health, because it feels like this situation with the Queen is affecting your abundance. Well, I'm saying your as in the Queen of Pentacles. If we are going to assume that the Queen of Pentacles is the Virgo in this reading, then this reversed Empress is really related to this Queen of Pentacles abundance and feeling like, and whatever's happening with the Queen of Cups in this spread is really negatively affecting this. So trying to maintain this relationship is what's going to negatively affect the Queen, or the Empress rather. So alright, this is the last card I pull for in tarot. I'll have a couple of oracle cards. But we have a Six of Wands here. I feel as though once you're able to inhabit a Queen of Rods as opposed to the Queen of Pentacles that you've been in, Virgo, for clarity or for simplicity's sake, I'm going to assume the Queen of Pentacles is Virgo and kind of talk about it in that regard. But as soon as you're able to inhabit that, there's a freedom, there's a triumph, not like, oh, I beat this, but it's kind of like making hitting a checkpoint and really moving forward with what's important to you and being celebrated and celebrating that for yourself, as much as it can also be painful. So yeah. Okay, I'm going to pull a couple of cards from the Wild Unknown Archetypes by Kim Kranz. This is one of my favorite decks. I use it very frequently. So. You know, it might also be extra upsetting because likely as a daughter or as a young child, I feel like this is definitely for a mother-daughter situation. But as a young child, there's really this desire to connect deeply with mom or connect deeply with this parent that's coming across as the Queen of Cups. But something was missing then. And there's also but something has changed and there is a relationship here that never happened before, or that wasn't really possible before, but it's bittersweet because you had that and now you don't, or now you realize you have to let it go because what you wanted was unhealthy, because once you're an adult, you're your own parent. Once you're an adult, you're your own parent, and there's no getting, your adult, as an adult child, there's really no getting your mother to actually do that for you now. Okay. All right. Now, I like to say this before I pull the last oracle cards. If this reading's been helpful for you or you enjoyed this reading, I mean, enjoy is kind of a strong word. The message is hard to swallow. But if you've really enjoyed me as a reader and you'd like to get more of these monthly readings, I have, you can subscribe to my channel. I post monthly. Last couple months have not been consistent for me because I lost my brother, and I just kind of needed to deal with that. So you can subscribe, hit the little bell notification. If this reading was for you this month and you'd like to return the energy for the reading, I'd really appreciate a little thumbs up. You could give me a thumbs down, don't really care, whatever floats your boat. And I'd love to hear about how this reading was pertained to you particularly, what fit, and maybe how it's going to help you navigate this situation with how the information you've received or how the message you received is going to help you in the situation. Just knowing how I help really is a big motivating factor. And if as a reader you're really vibing with me, you really enjoy me as a reader, and you'd like to get a personal reading, I have a link in the description that you can click to get to from my website, friendlymystic.com, and that has all the information on how to book a personal reading. But let's get into this. What advice can I give? This one. Interesting. Bardo. The Bardo? I don't know this card. Hold on. I'm gonna get the deck really quick. Sorry about that again, Virgo. But let's look at this. So to show you the Bardo card, I'm going to read it from the book. It is said that the Bardo is a place between this life and the next, a liminal realm through which souls pass. Envisioning this inherently mysterious space creates the potential for us to rise above the concerns of this world and see our relationships through a cosmic and timeless lens. We may receive messages from those who are no longer with us or see visions of lives not yet lived. In the Bardo, there is potential to forgive the unforgivable, to say the unsaid, to see the unseen, to love the unloved, to let go of all the things that cause us pain. The bardo suspends us in its spaciousness for just long enough to open us to higher wisdom. Its energy does not belong to Earth as we know it, but rather to the cosmic network of which we are a single thread. Interesting. So I feel, just based on this narrative of this queen in this unhealthy relationship, with this other queen, there is this sense of this, I think, how do I phrase this, especially if you're an adult child trying to have that relationship with a mother who's not really, who you are able to have now to some degree, but realize needs to be separated. There's going to be a need for forgiveness, forgiving the things that you didn't get as a child from them that you're trying to desperately grasp for now, or forgive them as you're going through this process of releasing this person. Sorry for the cutoff, which is really interesting because it cut off at 5:55, so I'm not sure if that means anything to any of you. But there's a need to forgive as you go through this cycle, or release this cycle with this other person when you're in this rescuer complex. There's a lot of resentment that ends up building that needs to be released, and it may feel hard and almost impossible to release it. You may also find it useful, especially even still on this time of year. I know that Halloween and Dia de los Muertos has already passed, but it's always worthwhile to try to talk to and contact your ancestors. So let's look at the desert card. More, two more, three more. There we go. So I'll show you the desert. The desert leaves us disoriented, desperate for direction, grasping for meaning, longing for solid ground for endless miles. We are confronted with a lack of clarity and existential dread. We are thirsty, hungry, pleading with life to get back to normal, to become animated by the simple pleasantries of day-to-day life. The desert offers no such comfort, and all must pass through it. If you can embrace the discomfort of the desert, knowing you will someday reach water again, you can tap into the potent energy of the landscape. Its lights are blindingly bright, and its darks are terrifyingly deep, which makes for unbridled creativity and clairvoyant visions. Truths reside in the desert that otherwise remain hidden. The crows, the shadows, and the coyotes' call surround you. Let the winds and the sands work their deep magic, weary traveler. Yeah, after you release this, it's like going through withdrawal. It's gonna be like going through withdrawal if this is your situation. And wanting to go back to how it was is really going to be paramount, or not paramount, but you will want to go back to how it was. You'll crave for it deeply, but it's better to go through than to try to double back through the desert, because once you actually follow through with this, what you find again is much better. There's also tons of illumination involved with both the Bardo and the desert, so this is going to be a very uncomfortable time, but a very illuminating time, even though it feels as though you're in the pit of despair. And I think the desert will also apply for the Queen of Cups. I don't think that this is only applicable to you, Virgo, but if there's another party, they're likely going to be going through this and be transformed by this as well. Excuse me. Woof. Okay, Virgo. I hope this was a helpful reading for you. This reading has been, all of my readings today have been really rough and draining, and it took me extra time to actually get through them because I needed to take a break. but it's worth it if what I do can be helpful to other people. I really hope that you're able to navigate the situation and heal and release it and come out the other side a happier, healthier person. You and the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. I'm wishing this. I'm wishing the best for everyone